Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I want to do a little grid painting, but with a little bit bigger grids. So I'm using the Academy watercolor paper by Bao Hong because it's 10 by 15 and I'm just experimenting with it. I like that it doesn't tear when I peel my tape, and I like the size, and I like the price. And this is a nicer student grade paper from everything that I've looked at, and it's 100% cotton, which I really like. And today I think I'm going to start with some art making, and I want to play in my Masha's watercolors. This is the essential set that she had, and I want to play in the pinks and oranges and purples, kind of that range, because we did a smaller set in the blues and the greens that I loved, and I want to go this time in this pink, purple, orange set. And I could start off by mark making, so got my Pitt Matte Graphite, which is my favorite graphite pencil, and I'm going to treat the whole thing maybe as one big continuous piece of art, and then when we peel the tape we'll have 6 little pieces, and I've just kind of roughly split it up 5 by 5, but it's not completely perfect, but I don't care. I don't get hung up on it being perfect, but measure it out well if this is, you know, a piece of art that you think you're really going to care about. You can go ahead and make those lines a little bit more even. I just kind of roughly 5-ish by 5-ish, and I've got some Princeton Neptune brushes here. This one is the 3/4 inch square wash, and I'm going to kind of fill it with paint first, and then we'll mark make on top. It's kind of how I've been approaching these. And let's just start with the orange. And once I get that going, I'm going to go ahead and add some of these other colors in here, and I'm holding my brush further back. I want it to be less controlled, a little more organic. I'm already feeling good about these colors. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I wonder if we take a fan brush. This is just a Ultrek Utrecht 208 number 4 fan brush. It's more like for like oil paints and stuff. What if we take the fan brush into the purple and see like what can we get with that with a little extra texture too? And we might not see the fan part of it, but we might. Just kind of interesting to see, like, what if I did this? What could I get? Ooh, I picked up a little bit of some purpley blue there. That's kind of interesting. Let's just pick up that little purple part of that, because that gave us some contrast that maybe I wasn't quite expecting that. That looked more like a bluish than it did a purplish. Maybe we mixed the purple and the blue. What would we get if I did that? Okay, I don't know. I'm scared now because I'm like, do I want to add that? Let's add that over here. Oh, look at that. See the purple, that must have been the blue I picked up. That's a better color. So there we go. I was kind of a little worried there. Okay, it's kind of fun not to do it in all of them, so I think I'll go with that right there. Maybe do some mark making with this other shape. fun. I think I'm gonna let this dry and then we'll do some mark making on top of these. So I will be right back. All right, that's dry, and I've just been kind of picking out some little paints to maybe do some stenciling before I do some mark making. So I've pulled out some Blick matte paints in deep pink and orange deep, because I'm still kind of sticking with my orange and pink theme here. And I pulled out white, which I'm not going to put that out yet. I'm going to think about the white. But I'm kind of feeling like this fun stone wall would be super fun to start with. This is Joggles, and it is Ancient Ruins 33720. And let's just grab ourselves an ink, a blending brush. And what are we thinking? Are we thinking pink or orange? I'm thinking orange. So I'm just gonna get that paint on there, tap it down really good so it's not too much paint. Less paint's better. Just see if that's gonna even get me. Oh yeah, okay, I like that. Just all in adding some layers. Doesn't have to be anything great or specific. I just want this to be in the layers. I am putting actually a lot of paint. It might be too much paint, but that's okay. Because it's more of a ancient wall, I don't think it's gonna be bad. Maybe I'll wipe the back of that off just in case though. It's just about being in the layers with that. Oh yeah. I like that. And then I'm kind of wondering, I'm gonna set this right on top of that. Kind of wondering, I kind of like this, kind of thinking the Punchinella spotty one, which if you don't have any Punchinella, this Halftone Dorothy by Joggles, excellent one. Just gonna leave that sitting there. Or do I want some flowers? So I do kind of like some of these flower ones. Ooh, I should have used that one. I do like this one. I do like the flowers too, though. This one is Elizabeth St. Hilaire Tropical Blossoms on Joggles. And I'm kind of thinking we could do that in a color with maybe white on top of that. That might be fun. Let's do it in the red with the orange. Just see what that looks like. Oh yeah, that's fun. And then we can do some white on top of that. Or just some mark making. I don't know. What would you do? Not where I was expecting to go today. It's fun and interesting to see what decisions are you going to make after you get started. Where can we go? It's interesting to see, like, what decision did you make in the moment that was very intuitive. Okay, that's super fun. Okay, I do like that. Let's put that in the water. And now I feel like I do want to maybe do a white layer on top of that. So I'm just going to get my Blick white matte paint out. Get another ink blending brush. And I think I'm going to dry that real quick before I come back with the white. If I get a little pink in my white, I'm okay with that. But I'm going to start with white. my brush is kind of stiff. I used that yesterday and washed it out, and it's kind of stiff. So when they're stiff, I just kind of open it back up a little bit. Oh, haha! That's kind of fun. Too much paint, but that's kind of fun. Yeah, okay. Alright, that's a fun one. And now maybe we can just do some art making. So, I'm kind of thinking a lot going on there. I don't know if it's... No, well, now that I look back at the camera, you know, when I'm looking down on it like this, it's kind of questionable. But when you look in the camera, I'm like, okay, actually I do like that a lot. And I'm kind of thinking that we could do some art making and just see where we can go with this. Maybe some white dots would be lovely with the white. And I could draw details in the flowers if I wanted to. Don't know that I want to today, but I'm just throwing some ideas out there. Okay, just had a good idea as I'm doing some dots here. What if we do another layer with some gold? How many people out there were yelling, you need some gold at the TV? Fess up. I know you were doing it. I know you were doing it. There's always 10 people in the comments that are like, you needed gold. I was screaming gold. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm feeling it. This time I'm going to get out, okay, I like that. I'm going to get out the golden gold because it's easy to use. This is my disposable palette paper. There's always somebody in the comments that wants to know what this palette paper is. It's the Jack Richeson's Gray Matters palette paper. Let's get another one of these. Let me dry those dots. Now, do we want it to be a layer of gold flowers, or do we want it to be a layer of something else? Kind of feeling like gold flowers. Let's just flower it up today. What do you think of that? And because the gold shines, I think that might be nice. We're just gonna do it. And if we don't like it, well, we can stop on the first one and move to the next one. Oh, wait, I do kind of like that though. That's very interesting. Kind of different. We could do something different. We could do, let's see, I actually liked, okay, I like the flowers. Let's think about that for a minute. But I actually liked this one. Where are you? This one here. So maybe on one of these we do this one. This one is the Elizabeth St. Hilaire Rectangle Motif 75016 on joggles. And okay, I'm kind of thinking two a flower, and that way it evens it up. And then let's do the rectangle motif on some of these other ones so that we didn't just do one. We have like, we made it even with what we did. Ooh, oh, I don't know. That is really pretty though. Now I wish I'd come down further. Let's do that. There we go. I don't know, that's really pretty. Oh, okay, let's do this one here. Rectangle motif. Ooh, I do kind of like that though. Gotta admit that actually looks pretty darn good. Okay, I'm feeling rectangle motif. That was a good choice. That's a good choice. That's fun. but it's fun. Okay, do we want to do 2 more rectangle motifs, or do we want to pick something different? Maybe we should just pick something different. All right, let's just put those in there. All right, we're just gonna be real careful. Set that down. All right, what other one in here? I do like these funky guys. You know, I'm gonna forget what all these are. Where'd that flower one come out of here? I'll find in a minute, but this one is a Klimt one, and I do love my Klimt stuff. So this one is Cubes 75011 Joggles, one of those Elizabeth St. Hilary stencils again. She does the best stencils, inspired by old masters, that you should definitely go check out. They are super fun. And I used to think, what am I going to do with these gigantic stencils? But now that I've been working in my bigger art journals, I'm like, oh, give me all the big stencils. Okay, let's do it. Oh! Let's just do it. That's super fun! These things are the best for testing out all your supplies. Somebody else said, oh, I love these little samplers because now I can use all the precious supplies that I don't want to waste, and you don't have to use very much of your supplies to do these. And I'm like, exactly. That's exactly what these are good for. Testing out everything you got, figuring out how it works, seeing what it's going to be good for. I feel like I need some marks. Yeah, let's do the, we started off with the pencil, let's end with the pencil. But yeah, that's exactly what this kind of thing is perfect for. Testing everything you got without using all of it when you're doing it. And I love that. I love get your stuff out, figure out what you're working with, what you've got, how to use it, what it looks like when you use it, and then when you get to do something important, you've already practiced with it without wasting it per se, because really the only thing you waste is the supplies that you don't use, and then they dry up and then they're no good by the time you get brave enough to open them. Trust me, I do that. I've done that, especially with oil paints. Oil paints are the worst because they do eventually dry out, and then you can't get that lid off. It like cements itself to the container. Okay, here we go. I like the extra marks there. That was a good choice. Good job. Okay, I'm trying to get in areas where I'm not going to really be in the way of the flower per se, but just kind of fun, little tiny extra detail. And it kind of gives you the illusion of the black, because there's no black in this. It's not dark enough to be black. And that kind of pulls that tiny bit of black in for the people that think every painting needs a little black and a little white. Kind of pulls that in for you. Ooh, I like it. And these don't have to be lines. They could be like whatever your favorite mark making is. I just like lines and dots. Super fun. Okay, that's definitely completely different. Not at all what I had imagined in my mind, but I think we could be there. Let's just see what we got, and then you could always continue mark making after you pull your tape and cut them apart and decide. But I like doing minis and more than one, because then if you don't like one, maybe there's 5 other chances or 8 other chances, however many minis you do, that you're going to like some of the other ones. This is just blue painter's tape. People ask me what that is. It's from the hardware store. And my goal is to, you know, find the paper that doesn't tear when you tape it down, no matter what tape you use. So the Baohong, definitely a plus for that. It does warp when you're painting on it, so I don't know that I love that. But for the most part, it's a nice paper. I've actually liked it. Okay, what? Look at those. Look at those. Look how fun that is. Oh my gosh, let's just come up close and take a look at some of these details. And you can keep adding to it. You know, if you did something like this and you're like, what else does it need? Or it could be a layer in something, or it could be a card front, or it could be miniature pieces of art that are finished. I'm super happy with where we went today with that. Not where I expected to go, not the plan that I had in my mind, because sometimes I do have a little bit of a plan. I was going to make these more like the little blue-green ones that we made with the different mark making, but we totally ended up going in a different direction. Similar but different. But I love it. We did good today. I like this colorway. Hope you had fun painting with me today, and I'll see you guys next time.